My name's Stephen Murray. I work at Cumbernauld FM and I'm also a community worker within the community working in different projects. Cumbernauld interesting because I'm not originally from Cumbernauld. I moved to Cumbernauld back when I was just about 13, 14. We'd kind of became homeless, so we ended up moving from a different part of North Lanarkshire to Cumbernauld. I was very kind of reserved. I didn't really go out much, and I'd always stay in my room. Never had friends, never went out. Before I moved, I researched a bit about Cumbernauld and I researched Cumbernauld where I was moving to, and it was a really kind of bad write-up. And I'm always kind of worried. I don't get into fights or, and I was thought, oh, how's this going to be? This area from where we were staying was quite, deprived, a lot of poverty. But yeah, there definitely was that kind of, worry and anxiety about moving, yeah. When I was about 13, I joined a youth club. Against my will, I was kind of pushed to join it, to make friends, mum hassling me. And I went to the youth club, and from there I started to kind of become more involved. I used to go to some of the discos, and I got asked would I like to DJ, because at that point I was doing a bit of DJing. And I got asked to DJ, which was a great experience, and I done that with the Cumbernauld YMCA for the best part of 3 years. Oh, it was great. It was great because I believed that I wasn't going to step out of the house. I wasn't going to get involved in things. I was going to be quite isolated. Doing that led me on to, joining a college course, to then, becoming very active, in the community, especially working with young people, working in the local Cumbrian primary school, working with the parent council. I believe that working, doing the DJing from a very, very young age brought out a very kind of social aspect of me. I think we live in this thing that Cumbernauld gets this really bad write-up that, is poverty struck and it's this, it's that. But there is really good people in Cumbernauld that are doing so much, to support the people. And it's funny, I'll leave my street and I will speak to most people because they know the different things I'm involved in and I know what they're involved in. So we're very, very lucky in that way that people, are very kind of, they work together. And I'm not saying everybody does that, but a good majority of the people do. And that's one thing that we noticed during lockdown. Lockdown we've never experienced anything like it in my lifetime. You've never experienced anything in your lifetime. I think the last kind of thing that was anything similar was the Second World War, when you had to ration, and you had to kind of, obey orders, you weren't allowed to visit. That's what it was like for a lot of people. But the young people coped very, very well with it. And I'm not saying when I say coped very well with it, they did it themselves, they managed to get through it, but they struggled. And obviously working with the school, we're still seeing a lot of kids that, that are still not kind of through that yet. It's still, that they're still dealing with it, and we are still dealing with it because there's aftermath to major things like COVID. I'm hearing a lot of young people that, have not went back to school since lockdown. And the kids, it's put down to as they've kind of went missing, as in not physically missing, but they went missing after COVID because obviously, everything was off, youth clubs were off, schools were off. The kids felt that they weren't being cared for. The only way to speak to your teacher was online, and the people were putting it down as, oh, they've just slipped through because of COVID. And that's a shame. That's a real shame because a lot of kids rely on going to school. They rely on going, and maybe they're not having a good time at home. Maybe the family life's a bit of a mess. Or maybe they just like to go meet their friends and socialise. They were deprived of that for their own safety, yes. But regardless, they didn't get to do that. And so that's something that we should look on, and the mental health side of post and pre-lockdown. We've now got this massive line in the NHS where people who have not been seen to since lockdown that are still suffering. We've been told one day you can't go out, the next day we can go out. Their heads are all messed up with it. I was messed up with it. I struggled with it. But now everything's opened back up. I think there's still a lot of unresolved issues when it comes to COVID, and that's that's kind of important that we get that sorted. But within the community, during it, everybody worked together. We had different groups going who were making food for people that couldn't get out of the house. They were giving support, phone call centre ideas, people phoning up, getting advice, people also giving advice, volunteering. So as much as it was a challenge for everybody, which I'm not denying, but people worked really, really hard to keep going and to support their neighbours, their friends, their family. Everybody fits in the community. Everybody has got a voice and everybody should use that voice. And that's where changes happen, is when people get together and say, we would like to see this, we would like to see that, because large groups of people can do a lot, when their voices are heard, they can change things, and that's what's important.